Cognitive and computer science. When was cognitive and computer science discovered? Its intellectual origins are in the mid-1950s, when researchers in several fields began to develop theories of the mind based on complex representations and computational processors, with proposing the theory of computation. Its organizational origins are in the mid-1970s, when the Cognitive Science Society, founded by Christopher Longet Hoggins, was formed, and the journal Cognitive Science began. Now, you might be thinking, what is cognitive science and computer science? The word cognitive itself means the process of knowing, understanding, and learning, which are the three major characteristics of the mind. The word science means exploring and understanding, in this case, the brain. Cognitive science is the study of understanding the human brain and the human thought. This topic is commonly quoted as interdisciplinary. Computer science is defined through the same process. The word computer science is the study of analyzing algorithms, computers, and computation systems that lead artificial intelligence to transfer to modern hardware and software, which is coding. Both cognitive and computer science are deeply interrelated. However, what is the use of technology in cognition? In the future, will scientists and researchers use cognitive science to replicate intelligence in AI? While research shows that as we talk about intelligence replication in the near future, we are in fact already doing it. While scientists progress to explore various types of technology through cognitive science, the replicating intelligence part is vital. For example, we have face recognition, biometrics, humanoids, Google Home, etc. The major part of the human brain that they're examining to replicate to AI, like all these other technology, is the volume and intelligence of the frontal, temporal, and parietal lobes of the brain. To replicate, it is so important to know the similarities. Neurons and the processes they support, including consciousness, are the same thing. In a computer, software and hardware are separate. However, our brains and our minds consist of what can be best described as wetware, in which what is happening and where it is happening are completely intertwined. Both brains and AI have memory. Both of them use electrical signals. Both of them can retrieve and transmit data. Both of them have partitions, and both of them connect data in order to reach conclusions which are logical and working. To connect brain and computer, we would also have to settle to a basis for comparison. According to my research, the comparative influences of the brain and computer include construction, memory growth, backup systems, memory power, memory density, energy consumption, information storage, size and weight, transmission of information, information processing power, input/output equipment, structural organization, parallelism, and reliability and damageability properties. While we strive to combine brains and technology, eventually, will AI be using cognitive science to understand us humans better? Cognitive science and artificial intelligence integrates the study of artificial intelligence with the study of human cognition. So, the question we really need to ask is, what are the different ways in which computers can learn to solve a problem? Or do computers and brains work in a similar way? While AI uses brain science to understand humans better, it will develop the ability to learn new things, make decisions by rationalizing, and provide useful insights for human beings. The differentiation between brain and computer is very useful in the field of cognitive science and artificial intelligence, where the human brain is used to model the artificial neural network to create an expert system known as the computational model. The prior difference between the brain and the computer is that the brain can work without data, but computers require a minimum amount of data. A brain is an innovative and creative organ, but the computer cannot create a new thing without any support. It would need some program or software to do this. Computer solves problems in 6 ways: root cause analysis, chunk down method, morphological analysis, research and reduction method, brainstorming, and distributive learning in math. Whereas the brain uses social sensitive, logical, intuitive, and practical thinking. How does cognitive science help scientists? There are 2 parts to how cognitive science helps scientists. First, how it helps cure diseases. Second, how it helps make robots and advanced technology think like human brains. Diseases like autism, schizophrenia, and Alzheimer's do have current scientific advancements that we should be excited about. Neurogenetics. There is a hope that as we research a cure for these diseases through a smart pill will be found, and that research, in a summary, will portray the manner in which a brain's hardware or wiring is all set by its genes, whilst knowing that the wetware in the brain will have the same connections. However, the variety of neurons, synapse bursts, and brain pathways is what changes the output of this neural program that runs on top of this weird hardware, which is driving scientists to realize how smart pill projects can actually be executed or be useful through brain science. One of the largest brain-tube AI discoveries ever. Scientists at NTU University Singapore have created a robot that feels pain and self-repairs itself through a brain science-inspired approach that can help cognitive science so much. This robot didn't quite learn through computational procedures. It was actually from a system called memoristors, which are brain-like electronic devices capable of storing memory and processing information with artificial receptors and synapses that burst whenever it discovers a new technique. Along with technology and efficiency comes the feasibility to adopt a new generation of these robots on the marketplace. These scientists tackled this problem through reducing the amount of electronic components required to make the product more affordable and scalable. Lab experiments showed how the robot continued to respond to pressure even after damage, and 1,055 other robot innovations like this who proved to be robust in their own various aspects. When injured with a cut from a sharp object, this robot quickly loses mechanical function, but the molecules in the self-healing ion gel begin to interact, causing the robot to stitch its wound together and to restore its function while maintaining high responsiveness. Cognitive computing versus artificial intelligence. What is cognitive computing, and how does it improve AI's exploration and human psychology? Our brain does several tasks at a simultaneous time that are highly complex. For example, survival skills like breathing, or sensory organs, decision-taking, or monitoring, which requires a lot of processing. The brain's memory is used to encode, retain, and store information and previous experiences. Brain is a place where all learned activities are retained. This has been made possible through neurons as the living cell or storage unit in the brain, which is made up of a synapse. As these synapses transmit neurons, our brain will contain more than 125 trillion of them, with a storage power of infinity. A computer is a device used to perform numerous computations and calculations within a second. However, a computer is far behind in cognitive processing than even a child's brain, which can recognize handwritten patterns, different voices, being creative, and inventing new things, etc. A computer would error these activities unless it's explicitly told the procedures to perform them. In terms of a computer storage or wiring, its memory capacity increases and memory size decreases to a limited storage space, with primary data stored temporarily and secondary data stored permanently in hard drives, disks, etc. As a combination of these two, comes cognitive computing, which is far more reliable with the speed in nanoseconds and basic a mini pastronic human brain. AI can present you with information, but cognitive computing can make rational decisions that provide a meaningful output and can be extremely helpful. This can help crucially in job finding decisions. Can analyze emerging patterns, spot business opportunities, and take care of critical process-centric issues in real time. Is cognitive science a factor derived from computer science? Is computer science and cognitive science interrelated? To science, the mind is completely immaterial or supernatural. However, the term cognitive science gives it a legible reason to be researched on, since cognition aims to collect empirical evidence based on mental processes and phenomena. There are 5 key holders that make cognitive and computer science interrelated. They're solely what cognition is supported on. Education, the study of how people learn. Philosophy, the study of knowledge, reality, and existence. Artificial intelligence, the study of thinking machines and systems. Psychology, the study of the behavior and the mind. And neuroscience, the study of the nervous system. Starting off with cognitive psychology. First, psychologists collect behavioral evidence to deeply examine language comprehension, inference making, social interaction, and emotional experience. Linguistics. Linguists logically gain evidence and observations by knowing how people produce and understand sentences that are well structured and also meaningful. Neuroscience. Neuroscientists use brain scans to track or investigate neural activity, especially ones that revolve around various types of thoughts, ideas, or notions. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, to take pictures of the brain, is to watch how human neural circuits work in real time. And transcranial magnetic stimulation allows doctors to stimulate neural circuits in psychiatric patients to alleviate their systems, etc. Anthropology. Anthropologists study the nature of cognition as it occurs in many different cultural contexts, such as cognitive behavior, cognitive biology, technology, etc. Philosophy. Surrounding general questions, philosophy focuses on the nature of knowledge, epistemology, and reality, metaphysics, and morality, ethics. Its questions would be relevant to the mind processes and how it might improve. The possible epistemologic question is how do minds extract knowledge from the external world? Or a metaphysical question like whether mind and body are fundamentally different kinds of things or not. Computer science / artificial intelligence. AI has been vital in cognitive science for 2 reasons. First, the idea of computation serves plenty of value to developing ideas of thinking being a natural process. Before, theories relied on ineffective analogies such as clocks or switchboards. Now, computer programs made it possible for a simple mechanical device to solve complex algorithmic procedures or computations, which are generating productive inventions to notice how brains might work in similar manners. Second, computer science has been useful for testing hypotheses about mental organization and function. A hypothesis which is constructed by algorithms is mimicked by programs in a computer, and if the computer's output is similar in appropriate ways to real human performance, the world considers the hypothesis as supportive. Education. Education or pedagogy solely relate to cognitive and AI through research operations, human resource management, and human factors engineering. Just goes to show how education replicates the need of manpower to AI without placing excessive demands on people's mental capacities, and also effectively using the design of tools and other devices.